Hello and welcome to our introductory video on the Tipp See protocol. My name is John Hampson and I'm a member of the Creative Technology Research Lab at the University of Florida. Today's video will discuss what is the Tipp See protocol, and you'll also get to see the Tipp See protocol in action. Today we'll be working with a third grade Fraction Circles 1 worksheet. We also are going to be moving back and forth between the program itself in Scratch and the worksheet. Links are provided in the description below, and as always, feel free to pause or rewind the video as needed. So, let's get started. The purpose of the Tipp See protocol is to help guide and scaffold students through a Scratch project. As anyone who's worked with Scratch before knows, Scratch can be overwhelming, especially for students seeing it for the first time. Also, the importance of modeling Tipp See is essential, making sure to transition between I do, we do, and you do when showing the Tipp See protocol to students. Also, we'll be moving back and forth between the worksheet. The worksheet serves three important functions. The first is to observe what the program is doing. The second is to explore parts of the Scratch code. And the third is to modify parts of the Scratch code to see what changes impact the program. It's important to note that the Tipp See protocol and the worksheet both work together, not separately. This going back and forth allows students the thinking and processing time that they need, and it also helps to guide exploration of the changes they'll make in the program and what impact that it has. Students can start working on the worksheet about halfway through the Tipp See protocol on the P phase for play. As a quick overview, the Tipp See protocol is divided into two phases. The Tipp phase consists of T, that stands for title, where students look for the title of the project. The second is I, for instructions, where students examine what the instructions tell them to do. The third is P for purpose, in which students examine what the purpose of the activity will be. And the fourth, P for play, is where students will run the project to see what it actually does. The second phase, C, begins with S, which stands for sprites. This is where students examine the sprites to learn what they do and eventually how they will change them. E stands for events, and this is where students look at the event blocks that start the scripts. The last is E, explore, and this is where students try to make changes to the scripts to see what changes impact the program. So, let's see Tipp See in action.
As you can see, we've opened a Scratch project called Fraction Circles 1. For the Tipp See protocol, the first step, T, stands for title, which you'll find toward the top of the Scratch project. In this case, the title reads Fraction Circles 1. The second step, I, stands for instructions, which you'll find toward the right of the Scratch project. In this case, the instructions read to click the green flag. Fraction circle pieces will be placed in the circle to represent the fraction 2/6. The third step, P, stands for purpose, which comes after the instructions. This is where students try to take the instructions and guess at what the purpose of the project will be. In this case, it appears that the purpose of the project will be to experiment with different fraction circles that represent a whole. The fourth step, P, stands for play. Play is to click the green flag to see what the project does. In this case, we'll click the green flag and see what happens on screen. After playing the project, I can see that two pieces of the circle got filled in to represent 2/6.
Now that students have clicked on play, we can draw our attention back to the worksheet. The first question asks, when I clicked the green flag, this fraction circle piece was placed. Based on the Scratch project, the third option, the light blue piece of circle, is the correct answer. For number 2, what is the name of this fraction circle piece? The answer is the fourth option, 1/6. And for question number 3, how many pieces were placed? The answer is 2.
The next step, S stands for sprites. Towards the lower right-hand corner, you'll see sprites that correspond to the actions that happen within our project. In the case of Fraction Circles 1, there's only one sprite, pieces, that corresponds to the pieces of the actual whole. In the next step, E stands for events. Toward the center of your window, you will actually see event blocks that, when clicked, will lead you through the entire program.
With that step completed, we can now draw our attention back to the worksheet to complete question number 4. In question number 4, Explore, Part A asks to set the 1 over blank block is set to make a piece of what size? The correct answer is 1/6. For Part B, how many add piece blocks are in the script? The answer is 2. And lastly, for Part C, which block would you choose for a yellow 1/4 fraction circle piece? The answer is the third one. Set 1 over 4th block.
The last step, E, stands for Explore. This is where students can change the script to actually see what happens. In this case, it's set to 1/6 and to add 2 pieces, which is how we got our 2/6 over here. If I wanted to change it, I could say 1/3 and to keep the add 2 pieces. Clicking the green flag toward the top right-hand corner will actually play through my newly modified project. In this case, it'll show 2/3.
With that step completed, we can now draw our attention back to the worksheet to answer question number 5. Question number 5, Explore, asks students to make changes to the script and see what changes impact the program. Part A asks students to change the fraction block from 1/6 to 1/8, then to run and watch what happens. Doing so results in the following picture. In Part B, students add another add piece block to the end of the script and then run and watch what happens. Doing so produces the following picture. To review, we can see that the Tipp See protocol helps to guide and scaffold students through a Scratch project, in this case, Fraction Circles 1. The 3 things that the Tipp See allowed us to do is to observe what the program does, in this case, to show various fractions in a circle. It also allowed us to explore parts of the Scratch code, such as the code that adds pieces to the fraction circle that's set by the user. And lastly, it allows us to modify parts of the Scratch code, such as changing fractions or adding and removing pieces. Thanks again for watching our video on the Tipp See protocol. If you have any questions, feel free to visit our website or send us an email.